Hello, my beautiful loves. Welcome back. I literally have no makeup on because I'm gonna sit and talk to you guys for a little bit. Um, I just got out of the hospital yesterday, late last night, and I did do a video last night, which is now editing. It's almost done. It's just got to render, so yay, that's being done. But I'm gonna talk to you guys for a little bit and tell you guys where I've been because I have been gone for about a good 6 months, and yeah, it's been pretty bad. I do want to put videos out every week, but some things have happened to where that might not be possible. But I'm gonna try my hardest. So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. so um, I met my husband in Germany about 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. And I don't know if anyone has ever just known something they want to do with their life. I've always wanted to be a mom. I love kids. Kids are awesome. I think they're the greatest thing ever. They're so much fun. They're entertaining. They're little bundles of joy, and they are brutally honest, which I love. My friend Heather has 4 kids, and I love each one of her kids. Her third child, Jackson, he is my favorite, and I will say that because he is brutally honest and he is a handful, and I don't know how Heather just does not laugh every day with him. But anyways, I've always wanted to be a mom, so thank God my husband always wanted to have kids, and he wanted to have kids really young, so, whatever. We tried to have kids for 2 years before we went and sought some medical help because it wasn't happening. So I want to say the summer of, what is it, 15? Yeah, this is 16, so yeah. The summer of 15, we went and we went to a fertility specialist, and they told me I had what was called unexplained infertility. I did a whole bunch of tests where they said they could not understand why it wasn't happening, but it should because everything looked healthy and everything looked normal. So they gave us a couple options to do to where everyone has heard of IVF, which was our very last option that we had because we were so young and things looked normal that they wanted to try this thing called an IUI, which is intrauterine insemination, which is very similar to IVF, to where you would have to take Clomid and there's like different types of IUIs where there's a Clomid IUI or there's a trigger IUI where you get a shot to trigger your ovulation and all this stuff. So we did 3 rounds of the normal IUI, which was just Clomid, and we did 3 rounds of that, and that didn't work. We are military, so military covers majority of it, where we would only pay a portion of it. So we were paying, I think, 130. No, that's a lie. 163 every time that we tried an IUI, which is not that bad if you think about it, because military covered I think half or more than half of it. So we did 3 rounds of the normal ones, of the Clomid ones, and it didn't work. So they said, we're going to do what's called an HCG shot, I want to say. Don't quote me on that because medical terms and me just don't get along. But literally it was like something trigger ovulation. And so we did 2 rounds of that. So we did a total of 5. Military requires you to have 6 failed IUIs before you are qualified for IVF if you are young and healthy and all that stuff. So we would have to do one more. Our 5th round of our IUI we did in April. And we went, it was a normal thing. We've done it so many times. You sign a consent form, yada, yada, yada. When you sign this consent form, there is a 5% chance of infection. 5% chance. Not that big. And every doctor that I had talked to said, people usually don't get infections. It is very, very, very rare for people to get infections. Okay, that's fine. I signed my consent form every single time. I had complete and utter faith in these doctors. They knew they were doing. My 5th IUI that I did was in April, like I said, and I remember doing this IUI, and I remember it was a lot more painful than the other IUIs. It hurt a lot more. Something just hurt a lot more. I remember the whole car ride home, I was telling Cody that something just hurts, and he was like, I'm sorry, and he's like, well, you just got done, maybe you just gotta relax. I did. I relaxed, all that other stuff. I lived my life like I normally would, and I was just cramping constantly. It was a nice, it was a good amount of time where I was cramping. Sorry, I'm pulling out my calendar so I can remember these dates. On the 3rd of May, so literally a week and a half. Yeah, a week and a half later. I called I called Walter Reed, which is where we go. I called Walter Reed and said, hey, I'm cramping a lot and something feels wrong. She said, you're cramping a lot, you could be pregnant. This is all normal, just take your pregnancy test whenever you're supposed to get your period. And I said, okay. I went to work that day, and while I was at work, I had a massive cramp hit me out of nowhere. It hurt so bad, it literally brought me to my knees. It was hard to breathe. I couldn't catch my breath. I was in a lot of pain. It was literally excruciating. I couldn't stand. I couldn't do anything. I literally sat on the floor of my work for a good 10 minutes till I caught my breath, and I just didn't know what was happening. I started to throw up because the pain was that bad. I threw up at least twice, I want to say. I came home from work and I had got the chills. I got massive amounts of chills. I was so cold. I was in so much pain. I couldn't move. My whole body was hurting. Everything hurt so bad that I went upstairs because I was so cold. I went to take a shower because it was like, I gotta take a shower. Something's gotta warm me up, something like that. I took a shower. I went underneath the blankets, and I remember my husband, came home because he was gonna eat dinner and then he was gonna go straight back to work because he had a meeting he could not get out of. It was some sergeant time training or something like that, so he had to go back to work. But he came home and he came upstairs and he looked at me and he said, Stephanie, you're too hot to touch right now. Like, you are burning up. And I kept telling him, no, Cody, I'm just really cold. I'm fine. And he's like, no, we need to go to the hospital. I went to the ER, and when I went to the ER, they took my temperature, they took my vitals, they literally pushed me straight through. I had 105.8 degree fever. I was in so much pain. My heart rate was racing. They kept telling me that I was in tachycardic arrest because my heart was racing so fast. My blood pressure was so elevated. It was crazy. I have never seen such a swarm of doctors try to see what was going on. Like, I had everyone around me. I had people literally, as soon as they brought me back, poking IVs, filling me with fluids. They were taking blood. They were doing so much in such a short span of time that the doctor looked at me. He's like, I need you to stay with me. Because apparently he said it was really, really bad. And so with all this that was happening, they found out that I had sepsis, that my body was literally going to septic shock because I had a massive infection due to my IUI. And I was hospitalized for 3 days, I want to say. But I was hospitalized, and yeah, it was pretty bad. It was a pretty scary experience. They sent me home with antibiotics. They said, infections are very, very rare. Very rare, but sometimes they do happen, and apparently they happened to me. So when I did this, they told me I had cysts on both my ovaries, which they said could be from my Clomid and my shot that I took, which was normal. They said it was all normal. It should pass after I get my period. But they thought I was still pregnant at this time. They said, I think you are pregnant. I think we're going to take it easy and all this stuff. But I knew, and my girls just know their body. I knew I wasn't pregnant. So I said, okay, but I let them do that. They put me on antibiotics. I had an allergic reaction to the antibiotics, went back to the ER, got a different set of antibiotics. They told me to schedule a follow-up with my reproductive clinic, which I did. I scheduled a follow-up with my reproductive clinic. I was still in a lot of pain. I was still cramping a lot. I wasn't having fevers or anything like that, but I was still in a lot of pain. I was still in a lot of pain. I'm still in a lot of pain now. But I went there. The lady that did my ultrasound at that appointment told me that I still had a lot of cysts, but like they said, should resolve with my next period. So I said, okay. I lived my life. I did what I was supposed to do, everything that I was supposed to do. And then June the 6th happened. Literally a month after I was released, June 6th happened. And again, I came home. got the chills. The pain was so bad that I couldn't even stand up, and I couldn't move. I couldn't even walk up the stairs. Again, thank God for my husband, because he came home. The first time the doctor told me if I would have waited, that I probably would have died at home, which was really bad. So he looked at me this time and said, "We're not waiting, we're going straight to the hospital." Went to the hospital, I had 103 fever. They did the same thing. They pushed me back. They pumped me full of fluids and IVs and painkillers, trying to bring everything down. And they found out again I had sepsis. And again, another uterine infection, which I didn't understand where that was coming from, because I didn't do an IUI this time. I wasn't doing anything this time, so I just didn't understand where it was coming from. But I had another infection that, again, hospitalized me for another 3 days, which was very irritating and painful. And like I said, I don't wish that upon anyone, even my worst, even like people I don't like. I don't wish that pain upon anyone. I can only imagine people living with this pain, and I couldn't do it every single day, because I'm doing it now and I hate it. I hate living my life like this. It's very annoying. It's very aggravating. So June 6th happened. I was hospitalized for 3 days. I got out on the 9th. Again, sent home with antibiotics, a stronger antibiotic this time, to hopefully calm whatever was going on in there down and to get rid of it. I left on the 13th of June to go to Germany, because me and my husband went to go take care of my mom. So we left on the 13th of June to go to Germany. When I was in Germany, while I was on antibiotics, I still spiked fevers. 101, 102, 103. Constantly, all the time, I was spiking fevers. I was always in pain. I was just spiking fevers. It was just a really horrible, horrible thing. That it's really irritating to live your life like this, that you have to take your temperature every hour to make sure that it's not going up too high, that you're still okay to do something, to constantly take Tylenol or ibuprofen to try to keep the pain and the fevers down. It's very annoying. I got back on the 23rd of June, and I had an appointment on the 29th of June. The 29th of June, I went to my doctor's appointment, which I want to say was very, very irritating also, because people who are military, who understand this, you see a different doctor every time. But they gave me a doctor who was ETSing out of the Army, and literally that was her last day. And I was her last patient of the day, which kind of irritated the crap out of me. And those who don't know, people who are ETSing out of the Army means that they were getting out. Like, she was literally clearing out of the Army that day, and she was no longer going to be there. So I don't understand why they gave me a doctor that was no longer going to be there. But they did. She did an ultrasound, and she says, most of your cysts have resolved. You have a couple simple cysts left, which was fine, but you have one complex cyst on your left ovary that has been persistent, that we see in every ultrasound, that does not seem to be getting smaller, and it seems to be growing a little bit. So we will possibly take that cyst out. So you're going to have a surgery to have that cyst removed. And I said, okay. But then she was looking, because my right side is what really hurts, and she said I had a mass in my right fallopian tube, and that they would most likely take my right fallopian tube out. Which is aggravating, but like, I'd much rather not be in pain, and you can still get pregnant with one fallopian tube, so I said okay. She said that she would call me at the end of the day with a game plan with a new doctor and all this stuff. No one called me at the end of the day. No one called. I was going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully that she left a message, and I was going to call the next day, and hopefully someone had something on my case. My husband got a voicemail the next day saying that I had a surgery date on the 29th of July, that they were going to do the surgery, and that I needed to call for a pre-op, which was kind of a weird voicemail to leave, because, yeah. But I still did not have a referring doctor to go to. But if I had spiked a fever, I need to go to the ER. So I said, okay, I called. I scheduled my pre-op date for the 25th. My surgery's on the 29th. I said, okay, but this pain is still there. Like, I still live with a lot of pain, and it's very annoying. On the 4th of July, I spiked a fever, but I did not go to the hospital like I should have. I waited a little bit, only because It was 4th of July. It was a celebration. My husband was drinking. And didn't want to ruin his fun. And it wasn't as bad as it was before, so I knew I could hold out. It was fine. I could hold out. I went to work on the 5th, but that 5th, when I came home, I spiked a fever of 102 when I got home, so we went to the ER in Walter Reed, Bethesda, which I have been to a lot of ERs. People who know me as a child know I'm very accident prone. Very, very accident prone, and I have been to a lot of ERs, and by far, this has got to be the worst ER I've ever been to in my life. I checked in at 6:19 at night, and they didn't even take my vitals, my temperature, or do anything until 3 hours later. 9:20 is when they called me back just to take my vitals and to see what was going on. Really, really aggravating and annoying, and it wasn't even busy. Everyone's like, oh, ERs are busy. It was not that busy. I can tell you that right now. It was not that busy. They called me back around 10 o'clock to go back there, and then when I told the doctor my pain level, he looked at me and said, well, you're kind of talking to me, so I don't think you're in that much pain. Which I tried to explain. I've been living with this since April, so I'm kind of used to it right now. He's like, yeah, I don't think anyone gets that used to pain. Which, again, aggravated the shit out of me, but whatever. They did another ultrasound, and at this ultrasound they found that both fallopian tubes now have fluid buildup, as they call it. They don't know whether it's pus, blood, or anything like that, but I have fluid buildup in both fallopian tubes. They admitted me to the hospital at 3 in the morning. I woke up, well, I really didn't sleep that day, but I talked to a resident that morning, and he said, I'm going to have a surgical team come and talk to you. And I said, okay. I waited. These people from the reproductive clinic came up and they talked to me and they said, your surgery is still scheduled for the 29th. We will do the surgery, but in my professional opinion, your tubes do not look that good. And I said, both tubes? And he said, yes. So he said, most likely, they'll do the surgery. It's an exploratory surgery, mostly, but to see if they need to take out the cyst or if they can leave it there and let it go off on its own. But they're going to take a look at my tubes to see if they can clean them or if they need to come out. But he says, in his professional opinion, both tubes need to come out. So, therefore, you cannot conceive naturally, that you would only have IVF as your only option to have kids. So, with all this being said and done, I was released late last night, and I came home. I did a video for you guys because I need to feel pretty and put on some makeup, but I decided to tell you guys where I've been because I'm going to tell you this is probably not going to be it's going to be a long recovery road. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how long, what they're going to do on the 29th. I find out then, and if they have to do all this other stuff to take everything out, which I understand is best for my health, but irritating at the same time because they're not taking away my chances, but it's never going to happen naturally like I wanted it to. So, yeah. I know I'm not the only one with fertility issues. I know there are lots of people out there that this has happened to, that IVF is their only option, and I've heard great stories about IVF. I'm not bashing about that, but I just thought I'd tell you guys where I've been, and yeah. It's been a long road. It's going to be a long recovery road, and I want to say, for anyone who has kids, be very grateful for your kids. Not everyone can have them. I love that all my friends have kids, because Aunt Teffy is pretty freaking awesome, just saying. That's right, I said Teffy. That's what kids call me. Aunt Teffy is pretty awesome, and I love babysitting, so. But if you guys want to know more about this, if any of you guys are struggling with fertility issues, know that you're not alone. It's very, very common. It's more common than I would have thought of, but people don't like to talk about it, which I understand why. It's a pretty personal issue, but I feel that people should be able to express what they go through, whether it be IUIs, IUFs, adoption, IVFs, adoption. If anyone can know how to adopt, please let me know, if there's a cheaper way to do it, but yeah, I just thought I'd come share with you guys and tell you where I've been, and know that I am going to try to put videos out, but as long as my health does this and I go in and out of hospitals, it's kind of difficult, but I will do my hardest. And I love you guys. I hope you guys do enjoy what videos I do put out, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.